Hello and welcome to you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate. That is because I love to advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere, whether you're working on your own home, whether you're in a design business. I am here to take you under my wing and get you where you need to go, girlfriend. That's what it's all about. And when I'm not being called one of the country's leading interior design coaches, I run a luxury interior design company here in the Philadelphia region of the United States. I don't know what that hand move was, but it just kind of came out of me, just sparked out of me. And we love designing for our private clients as well. And we work on everything from single room projects to single room projects to multi-room projects to whole home construction, renovation, the whole 9 yards, yada, 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 bip, bip, bip. And every Tuesday, no matter what's happening in our design studio, 4 p.m. Eastern, we stop what we're doing here so we can come out and talk to you. See what's on your design brain, have a conversation, a little fireside chat, minus the fire, minus the cookies and the brandy or whatever the heck else we be doing by that fire, drinking by that fire. And I like to have an informal lesson with you about something, and then I take your questions on that topic. These are not visual, these are discussions. If you are a visual learner, check out my online courses, which are very visual. It's nothing but visuals in those. So what are we talking about today? What are we talking about? What's on our brain? Swivel chairs. I get so many questions about swivel chairs. In fact, one of you already DM'd me a swivel chair question for today's live. So we're going to be talking about the considerations you want to make when you are designing with and purchasing swivel chairs, because they're a slightly different animal. So as an overview, we're going to be talking about optics that you have to consider, placement issues you need to consider, delivery and freight issues. Yes, there's something to consider. And we're going to talk about some hacks and some general takeaways, okay? So we got some ground to cover. So on the optics, something that so many of you forget to think about when you're designing with swivel chairs. I don't care if you're a design lover working on your own home. I don't care if you're a designer. Make sure you consider first, do I want to see the swivel mechanism? Because depending upon what you end up selecting, sometimes that swivel mechanism is shown as a very purposeful look. It's a 1950s retro look or a 60s or 70s retro look. But sometimes you're catching a glimpse of it on a silhouette. You really don't want to see it. Sometimes the front rail or a skirt is dropped down so you don't see it at all, or sometimes it's just how that swivel base is integrated into the chair design. So decide, do you want to see it or not? And will you be comfortable if you do see it, even if it's not the thing that you were really hoping for, right? So generally speaking, there's no right or wrong here. It's really more of a personal preference, but you should know heading in, what do you want? Sometimes that view just from an online shot, if it's not a direct profile shot and you're shopping online, sometimes you can't tell if you're going to see that swivel mechanism. So that's one thing to be aware of, that people kind of forget to be mindful. And the other thing has to do with placement. So with swivel chairs, the great thing about swivel chairs is they come in like just so many different styles and sizes and shapes, and there's just a lot of great opportunity and choice now. I think it's just really expanded in the last 5 years. They've really grown in terms of an offering across the boards in home furnishings. But you've got to think about placement a little more with a swivel than you do with anything else. You have to ask yourself, is it going to hit a wall if it swivels? Even more commonly than that, is it going to hit another chair if it swivels, if you're doing a pair of chairs? Or is it going to hit a table if it swivels? So very often with a swivel chair, let's say you do a barrel shape, something that's very rounded in your swivel, you've got to allow for, if you've got a little table sitting between your swivel, and maybe you've got 2 swivels, you've got to allow a gap so that your swivel can turn to face, probably the thing you want it to face is probably a flat screen TV. Now, do you need to calculate that people are going to do a 360 turn in your swivel? In most cases, they are not doing that, and I'm not talking about the kids getting in there and just spinning each other. Although you have to be aware of that too, right? If the grandkiddies are going to come over, or your own kids are going to kind of do a whole spaceman thing, got to be careful. But I'm always careful to make sure that I can clear enough of the swivel, not a 360, but enough of a swivel so that I'm not going to be colliding with something else. But why that's important is that when you're doing your measured space plan, and yes, if you're one of my students, you know you've got to do measured space plan. Questions are already coming in. Wow, yay. You've got to allow for that extra gap, that extra spacing. You might put a little bit of like a 4-inch space or a 6-inch space between your swivel and your table edge, or between your two swivels. Okay. So optics, do you want to see that swivel? Placement, right? And so far, I hope this is making sense. Give me some thumbs up and waves if this is helpful so far. And then something I want you to be really careful about for delivery, freight, installation, and make sure you are working with a reputable group that will stand behind you. A common thing that can happen with swivels, even really well-made swivels, depending upon the freight carrier and just the circumstances around the freighting in, sometimes the ball bearings can loosen up in a swivel so that it starts to make a bad squeaking noise, or it can kind of start clicking and jamming because the ball bearings might have loosened in transit. That means on delivery day, don't just say to the delivery guys, oh yeah, those look good, those swivels. Go over to the swivel chair and swivel it. Make sure it has its full rotation, right? You want to make sure your ball bearings are fine. But when I was saying be careful who you're purchasing from, make sure you're purchasing from a reputable enough group, store, online, in person, bricks and mortar, I don't care which, but make sure you're purchasing with a group that will stand by the product, so that if they have to send in a repair person, if A is going to happen and B is going to happen on a timely basis. Like I said, it's not unusual at all ends of the price point spectrum for in freight there to be enough jiggling and jostling that the ball bearings can loosen. Because here's what you need to know: when furniture is shipped in these big containers, you know, it's very possible that something is wrapped in a carton and then flipped upside down and stacked into the container, into the back of these big containers. It's called a container in the back of the, what is that called, Steve? The truck, the 18-wheeler thing. It's probably not what it's really called. But anyway, so you know when you see a truck on the highway, it's got that big square thing on the back, that's called a container. So think about it. You take something that has ball bearings, and if something is just a little loose and jiggly, you flip it upside down or on its side for freighting. That's why things can loosen up a little bit. So be careful. That's a place where you can get shut down a little bit, and do that check on delivery day as well. And you know, if you want a good hack, I'm not saying this can be done on all chairs, but I was talking to my my upholstery workroom, and this workroom is fantastic. They teach reupholstering and so forth. And we were talking about retrofitting chairs with swivels. It can be done by the right group, by the right upholstery shop, but it really depends on a case-by-case basis on the construction of the chair. So what you want to do, if this is something you're thinking of doing, take a shot of your chair, front view, profile view, include measurements, length, width, height, the whole 9 yards, and be able to discuss that with and I would also photograph the bottom of the chair and flip it on its side. And I discuss that with your upholstery workroom. Obviously, they'll want to look at it in person, but if you're having a cursory discussion, texting pictures, emailing pictures, that's a good place to start. But back to that first point I made, if you don't want to see the swivel mechanism, you're going to have to decide, listen, what are we going to do to retrofit here? We're going to have to drop some sort of skirt or drop the front rail, something, so we're hiding that swivel mechanism, unless you're trying to build something that looks very 1950s, 1960s, or 70s, you know, retro. So if you have to build more to the chair, now you're reupholstering as well, right? You're not just slapping on a swivel base. So it gets a little more involved than that, but it's possible with the right workroom. And then a couple of general things for you: buy the best quality you can afford. I always say that to you about all of your upholstery, particularly in a heavy use situation. But know that there are wonderful silhouettes out there. In fact, we did a little shopping for you. We've got a great blog post called our top 5 swivel chair picks for you. I've posted a link for you here in Facebook, Insta. You can find a link in bio for that. And let our design team do a little shopping for you in this blog post, and you'll see what we find interesting. And we went across a number of price points for you too. So feel free to put in your questions about swivel chairs. Keep your questions on topic, please, if you could. And while you're putting those questions in, a couple of things I'll tell you. Next week, got a good topic next week. They're all good. But next week, we're talking about how to select area rugs and window treatments for your open concept designs. How to select area rugs and window treatments for your open concept design in your home or something that you're working on. Okay, so we'll be looking at that next week. And if you've missed any portion of this Instagram or Facebook Live, you can always find us on YouTube as the Interior Design Advocate. We're there. And if you're not already following us on Instagram, peeps, you're missing the party. So if you're not already following my teaching brand at decorating.genius, that's where you'll find us. For those of you who are on Facebook now, that's at decorating.genius. And if you're not following what my luxury design company is doing, you're also missing a party there. So that's at IDH Designs. That's at IDH Designs. There it is. So, little sip of water here for the teach. Yeah, excellent. Okay, let's see who's saying what. Okay, so first of all, we're getting lots of hellos. Ruth is saying, thanks so much for doing these chats. Ruth, you are so welcome, cooks. And I'm getting a hello from Shelly out in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Hello, Shelly. And I'm getting a hello from Orlando. And I'm getting hello from Martine. Okay, she loves these shows. That's so good. Hello from Kentucky. This is all good. So getting a lot of hellos and such. Okay, let's see what kind of questions are coming in. All righty. So on Instagram, Chris Betts is... What? This one? Boop. Chris Betts is saying, can you upholster a swivel chair to be a tub chair? Can a upholsterer install a swivel to a tub chair? Okay, so we kind of said, yeah, that it's going to depend upon the chair's construction, but barrel chairs tend to convert more easily in terms of aesthetic and just the whole vibe into that swivel. So definitely what I would say to you, Chris, take the pictures I just mentioned, get those to your upholsterer of choice, and let the upholsterer tell you it's not just about the shape of the chair. It also has to do with the base construction of the chair. And if it gets to a point where they're going to have to do so much rebuilding on the chair that it's not going to be worth it, you might find, I'm just going to buy a new one. But do the exploration. It's certainly worth it. So hopefully that helps you. Oh, and Chris is saying she plans to add a waterfall skirt to hide the swivel. Brilliant. So Chris, you're thinking savvy. Not design divas. You guys are just, your brains are gorgeous and brilliant, and I love it. Thinking along the right lines there, Chris. I like it. Good. So I bless it. Let us know how you do with it. Okay. Lynn is saying, I bought 2 leather swivel chair gliders. Swivel glider. So does everybody know what that is? It not only swivels. Oh, it's got a piece of hair in my... not only swivels, right, but it also has this retracting action where it kind of goes, glides out, okay? It kind of like rocks into a glide, okay? So there's a lot of action there. So she bought 2 leather swivel gliders, and I need to tighten the screws every 2 months. Oh, what a pain in the butt that is, Lynn. They do get loose on the one that gets used often. So I'm guessing, Lynn, I'd love to know what you spent on these, to know what I'm going to say what quality you bought, not in a snobby way, but you know, when you think about a staircase, you know, first step, second step, third step, or first few stairs, middle through few stairs, then upper, you know, your entry level product and price is going to be at that base, and then the middle quality and price will be in the middle, and then your upper level quality will be at the top of that staircase. So I'd be curious to know where you were on the price point. Were these entry level, mid level, or upper level? I'm thinking they're not going to be upper level. I'm wondering if they're mid, if they're doing what you're talking about. But here's what I would say. That's a lot of action that Lynn put into that chair. It not only swivels, but it glides. The lower the price of the chair, the fewer bells and whistles I throw at it. The lower the price of the chair, I wouldn't ask it to do a million things. I'd ask it to do one thing, glide or swivel, because I don't know why your screws are screwing up like that on you every 2 months. But let me tell you, Lynn, you might want to contact a reupholstery group in your area. Reupholsterers literally can build and rebuild things too. That's what the good shops do. Ask them, can you make a service call? Can you take a look at this thing? What'll it cost me to have a service call? Can you fix this? And maybe there's a reason that they can help you with it. Okay, Chris is telling me she got them from Crate and Barrel, probably mid-price range. Okay, I'm going to say if you bought them from Oh, Lynn is saying, I'm sorry, Lynn. Lynn is saying she got her chairs from Crate and Barrel. Nothing personal, Crate and Barrel. There's a great purpose and place for you, like every brand in interior design home furnishings. But I'm thinking if they were Crate and Barrel, these are probably entry level priced and product quality, which is probably why they're doing what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with product at that price point. But again, my advice to you, Lynn, I'd get a guy in, see if they can fix it. Why should you be on your hands and knees every 2 months worrying about your chair? Just get it fixed. That's what I say. Let us know how you do with it. Send me a follow-up if you've got a follow-up question. Okay, Ruth is saying, if ball bearings are found on the floor and the chair makes noise, where do I go to replace the swivel? Ruth, I don't know that you need to replace the swivel. I'd call the guy. I'd call in a reupholstery group. If you're past, let me just back up. You should call your furniture store first, the furniture resource. What is your recourse? The problem is most furniture group, I keep getting hair in my mouth. I don't know. There's like a weird, it's the problem with when I do my hair, let my hair go curly or wavy, whatever it does. It just goes wherever it wants. So here's the story, Ruth. You want to get to your, whoever sold you that chair first to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What can you do about it? Now, the problem with a lot of furniture stores, no problem. We love furniture stores, but most furniture stores have very limited warranties, guarantees attached to their product. Why? Because they're being pills? No, because once furniture is in your home, guys, there's no way to tell how you're treating it. There's no way to tell if little Johnny is jumping on things, if somebody is thrown up on something. We've had wonderful clients call to complain to us about product, quote, quote, backfires. And then we learn from the 5-year-old cutie patootie, oh, the babysitter's shoe buckle got caught on that fabric. That's where that pull came from when our clients said, we have no idea how the pull happened in that fabric. So furniture stores, they can't account for how you're using furniture, right? So that's why there is almost no warranty guarantee. But I'd call your furniture store first and say, this is when I purchased it from you. What can you do for me? I'm finding these little marbly things on my floor for my ball bearings. And then if they won't help you, then I would just call a reputable reupholstery group, and you're going to find out, say, do you do furniture repair? What does it cost for a house call? And usually the fix is so nominally easy. This should not be a high cost fix. So I would get that taken care of, Ruth. Hopefully that will help you. Rhonda Onbibone is saying, she hasn't caught me here in months, having to do a catch up. Nice to see you in person. Rhonda, it's so good to have you here with here with us, and I'm sending you a big hug as well. Dawn is telling me she loves next week's topic. If you missed next week's topic, next week's a goodie. It's called How to Select Area Rugs and Window Treatments for Your Open Concept Space. Okay, how to select area rugs and window treatments for your open concept home or space. So there it is. So let me see if there are other questions. Guys, if there are not other questions, I will give this a wrap. I have a VIP online meetup to do once a month. I do this with my most dedicated design loving students. We gather, I'm going to turn that glass of water into maybe a glass of wine, cocktail hour and design. That's what happens one Tuesday a month at 5 p.m. I meet with my students who want to, my more dedicated students, and I look at their project pictures and I draw on them and they ask me questions and I unmute their microphone and they come out and talk to me, and they're across the country. It is a lot of fun, but I do have that to get to in a short while. So if there are no more questions, I'll wrap it here. Just saw a question come in on Facebook. Carmen is saying, I'm struggling with a swivel chair placement in an open concept room. I want to bring it closer to the tufted ottoman, which is in the center of the living room. But when I do this, it leaves an awkward gap behind the chair and the wall. Well, Carmen, you made a mistake in your planning, right? You ideally, Carmen, you should have done a measured space plan where you know exactly how deep your chairs need to be, how wide, how deep, because, chairs, guys, can vary from as shallow as 24, 25 deep. You're not going to really see that, but you can see a little teeny weeny swivel in 25. They can go up to 41, 39, 37, 36 deep. So that's a big spread. So I'd want to see what your space plan looks like. Carmen, I think that you have tripped up a little bit and made some mistakes and you've gotten in your own way. Carmen, I apologize. I don't recognize your name. I don't know if you are in one of my online courses. If you are, Decorating Genius System, 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms, as well as Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms. Both of those courses have private Facebook groups where you can post pictures. The whole community can weigh in, so can my team. So without seeing a picture of what you're struggling with, Carmen, I don't think I can give you a wise answer, but I can tell you that it sounds like you have created your own problem here, and I guarantee that there's got to be a solution. I just can't help you with it until I see the pictures. So I'm sending you a big hug, and I hope you'll forgive me for not being able to give you a more detailed answer, Carmen. But if you have a follow-up, you can send it in. Tracy Johnson is saying, Donna, you make a great point. I purchased two swivel rocking chairs 4 years ago at $800 each, and I've had no issue. Okay, so Tracy has done well with her swivel rockers. There you go. I'm glad that's worked out. So, okay, Anna's also excited about next week's topic. We had a lot of excitement about next week's topic. Okay, Wendy wants to know, how to become part of the VIP group at 5 p.m. All right, Wendy, my VIP group is only open to my students who have graduated from or are at least taking the Decorating Genius course. Decorating Genius, 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms. Why? Why is it only open to those students? Because I'm being a pill? Because I'm a nut? Because I want to make your life hard? No. It's because I want to take those design divas further. So I don't want to have to start teaching basic problems. Based upon the questions you guys ask me, I know I shouldn't say I don't want to teach basic problems. I don't want to teach basic concept that I've covered in that online course. Based upon your questions, as I was starting to say, based upon what you ask me, I know what you haven't learned. I know where you're confused. I know where you've just skipped 7 steps that I can easily correct for you in one of my online courses. So the purpose of that group, yeah, we're the girls getting together online. Yeah, we're having cocktails and popcorn and wine or whatever, but we're really designing together. And you design, I guide. I'm not just designing for people willy-nilly. It's people saying, hey, this is how far I've gotten. What do you think of this? I could turn left or right here. What do you think? I'm confused, would love more input. So yeah, but you have to have done a little bit of heavy lifting. You have to have gone through the online course. Otherwise, all of the members of that group will get really bored hearing very basic questions for things that they've already learned that they could answer for you. Okay, so the way to become part of my VIP group is to take my online course, Decorating Genius, 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms. It's an amazing course. It works for all budgets. It works for all design styles. And if you go to our blog right now, we're keeping current for COVID a 20% off coupon so you can get into that course even more easily. Endless access. You can watch the videos as many times as you want, yada, 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 bip, bip, bip. And it works. All rooms, I mean, from kitchens to living rooms to you name it, it just works. So there you are. And then Tracy is saying, asking, I hope that answers you there. And then Tracy's saying, it doesn't matter how long ago you've taken the design course to be part of the group. No, it doesn't matter how long ago you took it, as long as you took it, so that I know that you know what I need you to know. Okay? So that made sense. Jan is saying, I purchased a Lazy Boy swivel 20 years ago. I've had it reupholstered several times. Now I'm going shopping for a new chair. Thank you for the information. I'm so glad. Jan, they don't make stuff the way they used to. It's unbelievable. If you are chair shopping right now, guys, we talked about this a little bit last week, I believe. I just want you to be really aware, eyes wide open during COVID. Right now, there are supply chain problems getting the parts and the guts of things out of China, Vietnam, India, the springs, the batting, and so forth, all the stuff that goes inside the upholstery, the wood as well. There are container shortages. The stuff that is these big containers that things get packed into and shipped on the water to get into the U.S. and then trucked across the U.S. to workrooms and fabricators and manufacturers. There's a shortage of containers due to COVID. Why? Because of COVID, the dock workers keep getting shut down when somebody gets sick. So they're not emptying the ships nearly quickly enough. Not nearly. So the containers aren't turning back and forth nearly fast enough. And then the terrible freeze that happened in Dallas, in Texas, I should say, shut down petroleum production. And so a 2-month backup has been reported, sent out to the whole furnishings industry, the whole design industry. A 2-month shortage and backup has been reported for foam. So we've gotten notices from a number of furniture fabricators saying, listen, if it used to take 3 months to get that chair back in stock, figure 5 months now. Add 2 months to all of your upholstery projections. So if you're furniture shopping right now and you need 2 of something and your furniture store says, I only have 1 and the other one's going to be delayed, just be aware that things could be a little wonky. It will get better. This is not cancer research. Nobody's dropping dead here. So try to keep a lid on your frustration level, but just go in there knowing things are a little wonky right now. Okay, there it is. Okay, all kinds of things being posted by somebody as me to Wendy. There it is, about the Interior Design Advocate. That's good. All right, I think we got everybody. I think that's it. So listen, lovelies, next week, how to select rugs and window treatments for your open concept space. If you missed any portion of this, find us on YouTube. That's the Interior Design Advocate. Yay and a half there. And if you're not following me at my luxury online brand, do it at IDH Designs, because I've been taking people out into the field more this year. I was supposed to be doing that last year, but I would forget. I'd be so busy working. And now I've been taking you onto construction sites in this feed at IDH Designs. I've been posting less of the behind the scenes stuff on the Interior Design Advocate site, but I do more teaching on that site, on that Instagram feed. If any of that made any sense. I don't know. All right, dolls, I think I got to everybody. Last question. Oh, 2 more questions came in. Hang on. Wendy is saying I ordered new furniture for my living room from Lazy Boy 9 months ago. Wendy, are you kidding me? You're still waiting. You're still waiting 9 months later? Good gosh. Okay, I'm sorry, kiddo. I wish you were in our VIP call tonight, because you could probably join me in the vodka tonic I'm going to be having. I do a vodka fume. I do a light one. Barbara is saying, could a future topic be about hanging pictures, clocks, etc. on porcelain or ceramic wall tiles? Barbara, you should have my art guide. We just took that out of the vault. Don't you think Barbara should have the art guide? I think somebody as me is going to post a little something for you about the art guide. I know I talk about, do I teach about that in that guide? I know I teach about grids. Hanging pictures, clocks, etc. on porcelain or ceramic wall tiles. I don't go into that. I don't think I have I don't think that's a full topic for a Facebook and Instagram live, Barbara. I'll be honest with you. I would Google around and see what you could find on it. Sorry, I'm just being honest. I always want to manage your expectations there. Tracy's saying great. That was great. Thank you. You're welcome. And Martine is saying she can't wait for next week. Good. I love it. I think we got to everybody. Well, there's a record. We got to everybody. All right. Next week, bring your on-topic questions. Window treatments and area rugs for your open concept spaces. I don't know why I'm using my hands so much today, but there it is. I will see you guys next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. Have a good week, everybody. Hugs to you. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.